look very handsome. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm
really good.
Were you working today? Was today a work day for you?
It was. We are recording Big Mouth as we speak.
That show is so funny. If you haven't seen Big Mouth on Netflix, it is very, very filthy. Absolutely filthy.
It's one of the dirtier things currently on television.
Would you recommend that children watch the show?
Yes, I do. Very much so. I do, you know, this is tricky right now, but I think kids should be watching. I do think what I have found is that, and I've now been promoting the show for 2.5 years and still don't know how to tell parents to tell their kids to watch a show about kids masturbating.
Yeah.
But
that's a lot of it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, but it really is. You know, I think we found that kids, it gives kids a platform to talk to their friends, to talk to teachers, to their parents about what's happening to their bodies and what their feelings and emotions are. And we have characters like the Shame Wizard, and you know, so many other things.
Well, how many characters do you play on the show?
I believe I've voiced around 25 characters on the show to date.
You could really do the whole thing by yourself if you needed to. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I did do a one-person table read of the thing, which was really fun.
By yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend Andrew Goldberg, who I created the show with, read stage direction, and then I read a bunch of different characters. It was very fun.
Was there anyone in the room, or was it just you and Andrew doing it?
It was just us alone in a room. I've been working with Andrew since I was like 15 years. We've known each other since we were 6.
Wow.
And we used to do sketches together when we were 13 or 14. And there's a tape of us somewhere doing characters. And for some reason, I did a character of Roy Cohn.
A lawyer. Donald Trump's buddy.
Donald Trump's lawyer.
How did you even know about Roy Cohn?
You know, I've been such a Trump fan for years, you know? I mean, what a character.
They just made you Secretary of the Interior. Wow, that's pretty great.
Yeah,
you saved all that old stuff?
No, it's all burned.
It's funny because you think that's the kind of thing you want to cherish, and then somehow it gets lost or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you guys make crank calls and that sort of thing?
We did. We used to call WFAN in New York, the sports radio all the time. And we used to call up and be like, I think Patrick Ewing should be playing point guard. You know, he's a really attractive man. And then they would hang up.
That's a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you.
So you're going to Austin, Texas, right?
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes, we're shooting. We're screening at South by Southwest in Austin, which was a city that was invented by food trucks.
In a way, it was. I think you're right.
Have you been to South by before?
Many times, and I love it.
It's really fun, and it's now become this massive thing, and I've been going for years. It's like, it was a lot of, I remember going originally for the music, and all those musicians, it's all those like indie rock kind of really skinny musicians where you're like, what came first? Like, that you were skinny or you wanted to play guitar? And they all have those little legs, those little skinny legs. Like, remember I'm hankering for a hunk of cheese. Remember those like 70s claymation things? Everyone here, of course, remembers that. And all their musician girlfriends are there, and musicians' girlfriends all look like beautiful homeless cats.
And they never seem that interested in what the bands are playing, right?
None of it. But then there are going to be so many tech bros there, and I'm so excited to see them.
You like tech? Yeah.
I love tech bros in their messenger bags and fitted cargo pants and the belief that they're saving the world with an app. And
that doesn't have all the required letters in the world.
No. That's the innovation. That's the thing. Disruption.
That's right.
Who needs an R? Who needs an E when you're spelling something with an ER?
Yeah, like nowadays, the show ER would just be R. It would not be an E at all.
That would be the app.
You made this movie that is set in the Olympic Village, the real Olympic Village.
Yes. So I went with Alexi Pappas, who is an Olympian. She's a long-distance runner. She's American, Greek-American, and she runs for Greece. And her husband, Jeremy Teicher, is a filmmaker. and they called me to say, we have this idea for a movie to shoot inside of the Olympic Games. And I was like, all right, you know, I can, you need me to play an Olympian? Okay, I can do that, you know. Maybe on the other side of the career, but still, you know, a badass freestyle skier. I can see it. And they're like, no, it's to be a dentist. And I was like, I can do that too. I could probably do that too. So, and the three of us went over to PyeongChang in South Korea, and we shot a movie, just the three of us, no crew, no nothing, inside of the Olympic Village. So we had access to things no one's ever really had access to before, like inside of the dorms and the athletes' lounge and in the medical center. You know, I'm a dentist, so we just took over a dentist's office there, like Korean dentists, and just shot the film. But like we had people like coming in and out while we were shooting scenes, like getting their teeth done. And it's quite an amazing.
Well, when we come back, we have a clip from the movie which will be premiering at South by Southwest. Nick Kroll is here. The movie's called Olympic Dreams. We'll be right back.
Like, once they go, they are going.
Yeah.
They can't stop.
They're just gonna throw themselves down like an ice slide head first. Also, who knows what they're like in their personal lives? Like maybe they're scared of stuff in their real life, but when they're doing skeleton, it's just balls to the wall. I would just like fall.
That is Nick Kroll in Olympic Dreams, which screens at South by Southwest on Sunday. Boy, I tell you what, the makeup they did, it made it really look like your nose was red and cold.
Yeah,
you know?
it was
so realistic.
There was no makeup. It was me doing makeup in the morning, like in my room, being like, how does this do I? And then we'd go out and shoot, and it was so cold. Jimmy, it's so hard being an actor. I mean, I know you've never heard about how tough it can be on location.
I hear sometimes people do their own stunts.
Oh,
and yeah, and they'll injure
so
something.
interesting. So, but it was so cold. Like, I'm shooting every scene, and we had nothing. We're just walking around, and we were, you know, it's just the three of us, so we're carrying the camera, the sound bags, we're doing our own makeup, and my nose is frozen. It was like, I've never experienced anything, but it was genuinely so exciting to we would be like, all right, we're shooting this scene about like, maybe they're gonna kiss, and like, we'd find like this random town that had been carved out of ice in the middle of this Olympic Village and just shoot the scene there, and then we'd run up and shoot a scene during figure skating or while people were curling, and it was just really exciting.
I'm so surprised that you were allowed to. I mean, with the security the way it is, you think that the last place on Earth you'd be able to sneak around and do that stuff without permission, really, is the Olympics.
Yeah, well, we had Alexi and Jeremy had gotten a grant from the Olympic Committee as like artists in residence, so we had kind of a carte blanche. Is it carte blanche?
I think it is.
That sounds weird, though, right?
What carte blanche would be like an old lady.
Yeah. It would be one of the Golden Girls with like on a dessert tray. Cheesecake, probably. Shout out to the Golden Girls.
I have some bad news about some of them.
Wait,
I'll
what?
tell you later. I'll tell you after the show.
What? They're all still together, right?
No. There's some things happen. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man. So, But because we were like a part of the Olympic, inside of the Olympic committees, we got full access, and we got to go to the opening ceremonies. We were in the athletes' pen, the holding pen, right before all the athletes walk out into the Olympics. So we were with like thousands of all these athletes. Everyone's in their country's uniforms. They're all meeting each other, taking pictures and hanging out, and then we walked with them up to the stadium with 60,000 people and 1 billion people around the world watching, and we were watching them as they're about to walk out to the whole world. And
that's really cool.
It was really cool, and we were so close to walking out. And being like,
perhaps you would not have had carte blanche anymore had you done that.
Yeah, we would have had carte blanche.
Did you get to go out into Korea and to see the country at all?
We did. We got out a little bit. David Chang was there as well.
The great chef David Chang.
The wonderful, amazing chef David Chang, and he's an old friend of mine, and he was there covering the Olympics as well. So we went out to dinner with him one night and a bunch of friends. And
That's fun, to go out to dinner with a great chef like that.
Oh, man. And so we go to this, like, Korean barbecue place. There, I guess it would just be barbecue. and we go to, and he sits down, and I'm like, I'm with it. And you pick your meat before you go up to the table.
Okay.
So you go, it's like a supermarket, but a nice, situation, and then you pick it out. And they don't have any idea who he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like some dude. And so we go up, and I was like, they don't know who you are. And he just in the middle of the meal then just starts going around the restaurant and grabbing food from counters and other tables and brings it over and just starts cooking his own meal at our table.
Is that allowed?
I don't know, man. If you're David Chang, it is.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. You and your great partner, John Mulaney. Is it proper to say he's your partner?
He is, although I think he may have dumped me for Pete Davidson.
Oh, no, that's so sad. Well, he's very hot right now.
Yeah. But yes, no, Mulaney is my dear friend, and
You guys are doing a strange show the week after, on March 19th.
Yes.
What can you tell us about this?
It is. There was a movie called My Dinner with Andre.
Yes.
And it was Wallace Shawn and Andre Gregory, and it was a two-person movie. It's just two dudes sitting at a table talking.
At the time.
It was. It's just like very experimental. There's just two dudes at one table talking for an hour and a half. Nothing happens. So Elvis Mitchell, who puts together a bunch of live reads in LA for Film Independent, asked me and John to do a live read of My Dinner with Andre. And based on the audience response, I think
they're gonna go wild.
people are gonna go crazy.
I would guess that 90% think it's Andre the Giant.
I would love to have dinner with Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I got some more bad news for you. I'll tell you after the show. Nick Kroll, everybody. Olympic Dreams this Sunday at South by Southwest. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and I am not allowed to eat this cookie until you click the subscribe button. So please click now. I'm hungry.